Okay. If I were king of Overwatch, overview. Worth mentioning. I don't care about OWL, but I wish them luck. Uh, OWL is very cool. It's a very cool thing, but I don't really like watching sports. I'd rather play them. So for the OWL suggestions, like don't even listen to me. I don't. I'll watch the finals and stuff, but I don't know. We'll get more to OWL at the end of this thing, but it's cool. So we'll see what happens with OWL. All right. So some ideas here are repeated, spoken twice. From here, let's see. So some ideas are repeated, spoken twice. From here on out, some ideas are said twice, and it's not in any real order. If someone wants to condense this down to bullet points, have at it. All I did was jot down my ideas, did a little editing. Now I'm recording the video. Very sorry, my apologies in advance. I'm going to start with fundamental changes that pertain to ranked ladder, uh, then skip to ladder matchmaking, looking for team, then come back here and finish this chapter, which is general changes to Overwatch that didn't fit neatly into a single category. So we'll do a couple changes, skip down to ladder, matchmaker, necessary features for online team-based games, LFT, and then come back up here and finish this chapter. So you guys, you made a big mistake. You should have bought Overwatch.com from the very beginning. Play Overwatch is a stupid website name. I know it's like a tactical gear website or something. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good looking website, pretty professional. But yeah, buy them out for now that Microsoft has the cash, but maybe they're not selling. Who knows? Increased number of friends, blocks, avoids on the BNet. It's horrible. What is it? What's the limit? 200 friends and 30 block slots with 40 million total accounts and for just Overwatch alone. Uh, if we're talking about technically, you should be able to friend every single account that is on BNet. But I don't know what's the proper amount for money. 10,000 friends with maybe 5,000 blocks and mutes. It. I, what what I'm saying here is I think it's so cheap. It's so inexpensive for Blizzard to allow me to have 40 million friends and 40 million blocked accounts on the BNet launcher, even 100 million, a billion, I don't know. It's so cheap to do this. I don't understand why it's abysmally low at a 200 friend limit and 30 block slots. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Maybe it's expensive to actually do it, to code it. I don't know. I don't know. But account tied to computer possible. You can carry your computer and SR around. A Valorant kernel parasite. SMS never needed, but you can do it for fun. IP addresses change with a whip. I don't know if about IP addresses. So no IP addresses tethered accounts. You tell me. Even if you can't tie accounts to your computers or IP addresses, it doesn't matter in the end because you're allowed to sell and trade accounts. And you'll see how this works. And let your 3-year-old nephew play on your account. Like, you own your account. If you want to throw games on your account, Blizzard doesn't care. If you want to sell your account, Blizzard doesn't care. Um, I'll show you how this all works when we get down to the ladder and stuff. But as, uh, we're operating on a free to play game, so we'll, we'll just try to truck through this. Can we make sure an account is locked to a computer? Very important. VPNs, unlimited account. If there's a way to bypass it, it's not worth doing. So if we're going to do something, I think tying an account to a computer is kind of the best way to do it. Now, because I don't see a lot of people playing Overwatch on different computers. For the pros, I don't want to make special exceptions for any single account So maybe tying an account to a computer is just out of the question. But let's see. Flat said every other game has a streamer mode. I was blown away. That sounds really cool. Um, yeah, do it. Let's do it. All right. Buy out overbuff.com, put it in client. The statistics website that keeps track of all the stats. Obviously, there's a need for it, so just put it in client. That's what a PvP game is. It's about statistics. It doesn't matter that I hate what Jeff said, where, since stats don't tell the whole story, then we're just not going to put it in. I mean, talk about talk about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like, that's bad. I respect the artistic decision not to put a scoreboard in, but come on. I mean, come on. Okay. Let's see. Multi queue for comp, quick play, arcade, 1v1, etc. Show all players in queue, big matrix, servers along the top, queues down the left hand side, Chicago, LA, Asia, comp, QP, total mayhem. So all these ladder changes I'm talking about, it's for all the modes, right? I do not want to encourage people to play comp or do anything. I just want the things available. So the big matrix would be servers along the top and queues down the side. So along the top of the screen, you have all your servers: Chicago, LA, Europe, Asia, Australia, wherever the servers are. And then down the side, you have all of the games: comp, quick play, hero limits, and then um, this is just talking about. Let's see. Uh, this is just talking about the UI and how it works. I should have drawn it up, but we'll keep on going here. UI button for all queues. CTF, Escort, King of the Hill. Without OWL, we can blacklist maps, but I don't want to tailor a game to an audience. Blacklisting maps should be a thing, but OWL presents challenges. If you only want to play King's Row, you should be allowed to only play King's Row. Um, but in OWL, you have to make them play all the maps that you want. So uh, the UI button for all queues, there should be one button where you press and it just puts you into the quickest game possible, right? Think we got free for all and 6v6 elim, 3v3 elim, capture the flag, bounty hunter. There should be a button where I don't care what I play, I just want the quickest queue. And you should be able to, blacklist the ones you don't want. So if you don't want to play Yeti Hunter or Snowball Fight, like, you just unclick those and you can still hit the all queue button. Um, it would really help if I drew up the entire UI, right? Of how I maybe I'll do that in the future. I doubt it though, but we'll see. All right, so it needs to be in client. Gosh darn it. Discord app, Overbuff, ability stats, etc. I don't use Discord and don't know what QOL, what quality of life it offers, but it needs to be in client. Purchase Discord app and put it in client. The main idea here is to give players no reason to use Discord or third-party websites to play Overwatch. Put it in the client. No, put Overbuff in the client. Put Discord in the client. Put the guilds in the client. There, for the Battle FI, no contenders is in client. I want to watch. I'm not watching Overwatch League on YouTube. I want to watch it in the client. That's the essence of a PvP game. I'm opening up the client to access the PvP, to access Overwatch. Why are you sending me other places to access Overwatch? It's a it's it's kind of shooting yourself in the foot. We're going to make a PvP only game, but we're not going to do anything to support it. So here I go, Discord, Battlefy, gamebattle.com, put it in client. That's what a PvP game is. The for a PvE game, yeah, I'm going to go to the cheat sheet, and because you're not going to tell me how to defeat the final boss in Diablo in the client. I mean, you could, but that'd be kind of weird. So that's why PvP stuff needs to be in client, whereas PvE stuff it doesn't. Yeah. So all right. So maps maps are random because that's the game. No hero limits because that's the game. How you get good. Maybe 4 maps per week in OWL, but ladder always has all maps available. Maybe only 8 maps per week in rotation. Dumb for someone who plays. If you're going to rotate maps in and out, it doesn't matter for someone who plays 3 or maybe 20 games a week because they're never seeing that many maps in rotation. So if someone plays 10 or 20 games a week, like me, um, whether you have 8 maps in rotation or 30 maps in rotation, it doesn't really make a difference to me because I'm not playing enough to really notice. Maps are random. So, yeah, like if you only want to play King's Row, I think you should be allowed to. But in OWL, they have to play all the maps. Alright, hero limit rather than roll lock, bad because I like Ball on Route 66 and Lucio on Welios. So that's why 222 is really bad because on certain maps I want to play Reinhardt and on other maps I want to play Soldier. Um so hero limit, yeah, rather low. Okay, so no hero limits is the correct way to do Overwatch, and here's proof. Okay. Okay. No hero limits is the correct way to do Overwatch, and here's proof. Pharah has 20 DPS and 200 HP, and Sarah has 19 DPS and hold on a sec. All right, and Sarah has 19 DPS and 210 HP. Kara has 21 DPS and 190 HP. Laura has 20 DPS and 190 HP, but can hover a little longer. Bear and Dara, right? So we got like so we got like 6 characters, kind of like for you see, we have 6 different heroes that are essentially the same, and therefore you're basically running no limits. So a complaint against no limits is a complaint about heroes being too similar to each other, which, when you look at it, is a rather silly complaint. No hero limits was removed because, God forbid, we have a double pick in primetime OWL. I think double picks would rarely happen in properly balanced no limits, so long as you balance it with the method I will describe later. The way I want to balance is the HP pools go up and down for balance. I go into it a little more a little later, but you can see right here, right? We have 6 characters that are very similar. So we've satisfied your need for a hero limit. However, they're essentially the same character. So when you complain about no hero limits, it's because it's not balanced properly, not because there's no hero limits. Also, I'll talk about rated battlegrounds in World of Warcraft. You're allowed to have 15 disciplined priests or whatever. No one runs it. You can see that complaining about no limits is it's so wrong, and I don't know why so many people miss the mark. Maybe I could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm a little skeptical and a little suspicious, right? God forbid we have 2 McCrees on the same team on the opening game of Overwatch League, right? I'm almost 99% sure they knew from the start that they were going to restrict double picks for the sheer reason of Overwatch League. Big change. You should be able to change heroes at any time, and alt charge should be preserved. Instant hero changes are feasible, but suicide button is the correct answer. So I want a suicide button, and I don't care if it denies the enemy alt charge. You should be able to hit a button and return to spawn. I think this will solve a lot of problems. Um, Technically, you should be able to change on the field, but I think the suicide button's the better answer. And alt charge should be preserved. We'll get into more about alt charge preservation. Big change, instant respawns, 3-second respawns. Like, the 10-second respawn's fine, but let's think about Overwatch with instant respawns. It would remove the kill cam, which I kind of think is cheating. Like, I like using the kill cam because I suck at Overwatch, but um, maybe Overwatch with instant respawns doesn't seem like the right decision, but I'd like to see it in practice. I'd like to see it, if the pros liked it, or the grandmasters and the masters if they liked it. People complained about tick rate 5 years ago. OW had a 120 tick rate, and the latter had 60. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know much about this, but I figured I'd bring it up. That like Overwatch wasn't the proper tick rate for a good PvP game. I don't know. Let people you've let people know you've blocked muted them. If people want to look at your profile and you want to let them know that you've muted them, I think this should be a quality of life feature. And you don't have to let them know too. So, seasons unsolved, no such thing in ladder, but we can do something fun. Only skins is fine too. Winning helps pay for more games, 2.5 cents. Buy skins separately with US dollar. You should be able to buy skins, with money. Seasons, obviously, I want seasons to go, but there should be something fun and competitive. But I'd be fine if there wasn't. Only skins is fine. Winning, we'll get into more than the 2.5 cents thing later. So 7v7, no hero limits. If you had hero limits and we had 7v7, it should be 2-2-2-1, where one is like the utility role, or it could be a wild card. So Zen, Sim, Brig, like these are the ones who are like in the wild card or utility role. Still not better than Arathi Basin 15v15. Pharah, Soldier, Widow, all DPS. 2-2-1 could be utility or wild card. Like Sombra is utility and Zen is utility. Sombra, DPS, Zen support, etc. No limits is so much. No limits solves this, but I figured I'd bring it up. What the fuck am I doing? Wasting my time talking about roll queue. Football has rules to make it easy to watch. So in the 1940s, the NFL implemented some rules that made it more friendly for the audience. I don't like these decisions, but they're going. OWL is going to do it anyway. Um, but yeah, seven v. It, if someone said no, you can't do no hero limits, I would go for a 7v7, where the one is a utility support. Maybe the wild card is a better thing where you could have 3 tanks, because I don't like roles in Overwatch. It's a bad. There's no such thing as a role. It's only roles are a spectrum, right? And some lie on the edges. We'll get into this more later. 15v15 Lucio ball with offsides. Test my soccer theory with ladder, of course. I think offsides should be abolished from soccer, and it is in Lucio ball, right? There's no offsides penalty. But I want a game mode for 15v15 Lucio ball, so that'd be cool. Aside from 15v15 Arathi Basin, 1v1 ladders all the way up to 15v15 death matches. No respawn. All ladder activity public. So if Overwatch goes 15v15 Arathi Basin, there should be 11v11 death matches and stuff. Maybe 5v5, 10v10, and 15v15 only. But see what the people like, right? have them 1 versus 1 all the way up through 15 versus 15, and you would be able to see which ones are more populated. And the player, when he queues up, he would know that the 10v10 doesn't have a lot of players in it, but the 12v12 does. We can do battle royale if you want. 60 free for all, 100 free for all. I don't care. I don't play Fortnite or PUBG or anything like this, but I don't know. You can have it if you want. Like, why not put it in there, right? If it's only a question of money, right? Why not put it in there? Uh, December 9th, 2021, a content creator patch tournament was held. They used gamesbattle.com to run it. Why not in client? It's a PvP game, for crying out loud. Like, oh my god, it's a PvP game. Put it in client. Overwatch should be no limits. 15v15 on Arathi Basin and Warsong Gultch, King of the Hill. WoW, the mine PvP game in WoW RBGs. Kathmandu, Strand of the Ancients. I'd like to totally rework Kings Row, Ilios, and all OW Overwatch maps to fit 15-man teams. Talk about OWL. It's a lot of my changes. It's tough to fit into OWL. I don't even think about it. I don't even care to think about it. I'm trying to change the Overwatch client, OWL. The pro scene's just an afterthought to me. So 5v5 times 3 on Arathi Basin. 30 years from now, OWL won't have to travel. I think 30 years in the future, you're not going to, except for like the championship games, you're not going to travel to another person's city to play video games. The internet will be so good that I don't see why they're trying to push for that. But I mean, it's cool, it's novel, but and maybe with the 5v5 in Overwatch 2, maybe there could be 4 teams of 5 or 3 teams of 5. This would be a new type of game, but Overwatch could be the first 15v15 sport. There's sports, they're generally just 2 teams. Like, why can't there be 3 teams in a sport? Like Risk, right? Like, every man for himself is kind of where they're 4-man teams in Fortnite or something like this, but there's like 20 teams. I'm talking about like 3 teams with 15 people on each team. It's like a different kind of sport. We'll see. Are you allowed to play Overwatch with 6 people in a LAN party? Then let me press F3 to see their screens. Should OWL players be seated so they can see all each other's screens? So, what are the rules to play Overwatch? Are you allowed to see your teammate's screen, or are you not allowed? OWL, you can see the guy next to you, but not the guy, 5 seats away. Um, and if you're going to play an Overwatch LAN party, obviously you would look at your player screen. So obviously the rule is you are allowed to look at your teammate's screen. Think of it as like it's the future. They all have video cameras on their helmets, right? And you have, Google glasses, and you can see what your teammates are seeing. So it does make sense that you can see your teammate's screen, and if you try to get rid of it, people will just find a way to get around it. So just have the official rule is you are allowed to look at your teammate's screen. Earn skin tokens in competitive, maybe at an increased rate to quick play. No problems with if everyone starts at the bottom of the ladder. Wins help pay for more games, 2.5 cents. Capture the flag, King of the Hill, yield the same amount of swag tokens. So, yeah, we can earn skin. If you earn skin tokens for playing, I wouldn't mind that you earn more for competitive. I wouldn't mind if you earn the same amount as quick play and competitive. I would mind if you earn more in quick play than you did in competitive, right? You have to have the premier mode offer the most, or at least equal to the most. So, Twitch promotions should be twice as much for actually playing fucking Overwatch. Let top 500 link Twitch account or one web page to Overwatch profile page, Twitch and client. I want to watch the streamers and client, I guess. Um, if you're going to run a Twitch promotion, you have to give me the same rewards for playing the game. Why would you encourage me to watch a game instead of playing it? I want commercials. I want Coca-Cola commercials before. Let's say Overwatch worked like this. Before you went to a competitive match, there was a 15-second commercial like on YouTube, right? I would be fine with this. So why are you trying to get me to watch Overwatch when you're making revenue from me playing it as well, right? 50 or more heroes is the ideal number with no limits, mind you. 46, 72 minimum heroes needed for the possibility of perfect balance. 6 heroes can be perfectly balanced, so can 32. If I had to pick a number, the proper amount of Overwatch heroes would be 72, right? 50 is doable. Maybe I'm not opposed to having 200 heroes, right? But I don't know. It seems like with in a no limits format, maybe 72 heroes is kind of like the golden number, somewhere around there. So 2.5 cents per game. Winners get a cut. Top 10% of the ladder plays at a discounted cost. Top current matches play for free. It's also live on client, delayed. Money needs to be involved in PvP games, but Overwatch needs to be free to play. Tough problem. Gambling, and the house takes half. So I might clear this up later, but what I'm saying, yeah, here, 2.5 cents to play, 2.5 cents to gamble, meaning the winner gets to play the next game for free. So let's say every time you played you would load up the BNet with 10 or 20 bucks, and it cost 5 cents to play a game of Overwatch. Now, 2.5 cents went to Blizzard, but the other 2.5 cents went to the winner, meaning that they would now get to play the next game at a discounted cost. So maybe Overwatch free to play if you reside on the bottom 25% of the ladder, meaning once you achieve the 30 millionth place, up the on the ladder, you have to start playing 2.5 cents per the game. Maybe no rank is the only place that it's free. In order to get a rank, you have to pay 2.5 cents for the next match. No rank is the Wild West with not even aimbot police. You want to enter the ladder after you first win. Time to start playing. I don't know, business model. So, you know, I'll talk about the ladder later, but there's a no rank at the bottom for new players, and maybe they can play for free, but this is a little out of order. We'll just skip ahead. All right, so $30 for Overwatch 2, $30 for scoreboards. When Overwatch 2 comes out, I was thinking that it's it's $60, right? And you get scoreboards and guilds, but maybe you upgrade Overwatch 1 with scoreboards and guilds for $30. It's kind of greedy, but whatever. Get rid of cards or do something more useful at the end of the match. No one likes chores. After matches should be time to write notes on players. Maybe you bring up the screen yourself, or it could auto load. Endorsements or cards should be something you can do anytime, so long as you've played a game with them. Right? I don't want chores. If I want to upvote someone, I can upvote them. Don't make me do it at the end of the game. Basically, 40 million multiplied by 40 million, that's how many reviews you can see. I need to play another game with you to change my review on you. Edit time, of course, like Reddit comments. But yeah, you can take notes on anyone you have played with, and anyone can see those notes if you let them. This UI that I have in my head is so complicated. I maybe I'll draw it out. Be kind of fun little project. But thumbs up, thumbs down for all account. Don't hide thumbs up like you did on YouTube. And have a no thumbs icon, meaning I play a match with you and didn't give you a thumbs up or down, you automatically get a middle icon. YouTube should be displayed, likes on the left, dislikes on the right, and views in the middle. I think we should be able to thumbs up and thumbs down players, right? And everybody should be able to see this, and you shouldn't be able to hide it. You don't have to do this. I'm talking about unlimited voids too. So this isn't necessarily necessary, but yeah. So let's see. Okay. All competitive games are 2.5 cents per match, but if you spend $15 a month, they're all free. Bots. I'm kind of okay with bots. Get into this later. Arcade SR comp also is 2.5 cents. Business model. If you play 10 or 20 games, so I play about 10 to 20 probably about 20 games a week of Overwatch, and I'd be willing to pay $5 for this a month. I would pay a subscription, but I want Overwatch to be free to play, so it's kind of a dual-edged sword there. Okay, so do the community review cheating replay thing. So BTC talks about trying to find aim bots, and other games have this. I'm a fan of this. I'm also a fan of allowing aim bots. And the way I solve this is if aimbots are allowed, show votes on everyone's player profile. So people would say, like, this guy has an aimbot. Or I don't think he does, right? And there would be votes and a poll, and you wouldn't be suspended or banned for having an aimbot. It's just good to know that this person has an aimbot. And then you could create your own matches with people who don't have aimbots. Maybe with Microsoft AI, they could really tell who has an aimbot. I am in favor of letting aimbots on the ladder. We'll get more to the philosophy of this later, but aimbots get permabanned. No, I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. I don't mind aimbots on the ladder and might actually use an aimbot from time to time, but I want to be able to distinguish between aimbot accounts and non-aimbot accounts if this is even possible. Create a voting system where anyone can pin replays to anyone's profile and then vote for aimbots or good aim. So, uh, let's see. Uh, we want the best game of Overwatch. And if that means that people need to use aimbots to find out the best game of Overwatch, fine. I talk about this a little later, so we'll move on. But and if you want to do it the way you do now, where you kick aimbots off the ladder, that's fine too. I don't really care. But increase max group size to 144 with voice comms. So the max group size right now is 24, right? Or is it 12? I don't know. You know, like Discord, right? You can have a lot of people in voice comms. So goes back to like the friends list thing. Should OWL coaches be allowed to view players' scenes and relay voice comms? You tell me. Obviously not free cam the map or see out of enemy eyes. All team games have coaches on the sidelines, and NFL coaches have radios to the QB's helmet. I've heard that OWL coaches can't talk to their players during the match. That's kind of weird. That's not how team sports work. So, I don't know, but that's OWL. Maybe broken. Here's a cool idea. Like, if I'm a 1600 healer, a 1400 tank, and a 1200 DPS, when I queue up as DPS, shouldn't my healers be 1600? Shouldn't I have six of me on my team? Anyway, so with no limits, this doesn't even matter. But if you're going to keep in roll lock, wouldn't it make sense that if I'm able to achieve 1600 on healer, that also means that I should have a 1600 healer on my team, right? And likewise, if I play healer, if I'm a 1200 DPS and a 1600 healer, doesn't that mean that my DPS should be 1200? This is the correct way to do ranked in role lock. In 222, this is the correct way to do it. Now, I understand with everybody involved that it probably won't make much of a difference because it would be harder to find those players and it would kind of all equal out in the end. Nevertheless, it's the proper way to do a role lock. 1v1 ladder. Genji versus 2. Let's see. All QL afforded. So we want 1v1 ladders. Like we want heads mirror matched ladders, right? This is how you find out, do I need this guy on my team, right? And I don't know about Mercy 1v1s, but they'll figure it out amongst themselves. So, top 3 games of the ladder in the past 72 hours are available to watch in client, pay per view, Coca Cola adverts. Every game is available for watching and replay, but the top 5 matches have a special UI screen. Yeah, so on the ladder, you can watch any game, it's always available for replay. But, like, the top 3 games of the past 72 hours, like, people would watch these, right? They would click on these to watch the best match over the past 24 hours. I need to see that. I want to see what happened in there. So, contenders and clients, guilds affiliated with contenders in OWL. If you're going to do a guild system, which I don't agree with too much, I want more friends lists kind of thing. But since you guys are trying to make money, if you're going to do guilds, they should be tied to the OWL and contenders teams, right? It'd be really cool, you know. Let's see. Big change. Allow teams to see each other's picks before spawn. Would need a mechanic so pick hero phase doesn't go on forever, like a lottery kind of. Defense must pick first. Think about Nubani. Like, let's say you're always allowed to see what your opponent hero is, right? So, what um one way to solve this is that, like, think about Nubani. You can see what they're picking, but it means that they have to pick first, because if they wait too long to pick, they're not going to be on the point in time. Whereas King of the Hill maps, um, it would be difficult to do it, because you would always be counter picking and you would never leave spawn, so to speak. But um, maybe an answer to solve a lot of these problems with hero pools and stuff like this is that, like, you're always allowed to see what hero your opponent has selected. I would be fine with this, no matter what the consequences. So, less maps in Overwatch League season than on ladder. When 50 maps complete, 4 maps per week in OWL. So if Overwatch League and the competitive ladder have a different amount of maps, I think this would be fine, but kind of changing it up a little bit. Excuse me. All of the paper assumes that Overwatch is free to play. All new accounts start at 0 SR. Overwatch can be played 15v15 no limits on Arathi Basin, and also Warsong Gultch, Kings Row. Can 30 people play on Kings Row? Talk about why Lucio shouldn't drop the flag during speed boost. Tracer blink. Talk about separate balance for each map mode. Different balance for Ilios and Kings Row if needed. Different balance for Kings Row and Nubani if needed. Good God, I hope not. My balance idea, you may have to have separate balance for Kings Row and Nubani. So we'll get into that later. But 15 Kings Row. Talk about why Lucio. So you do not, in World of Warcraft rated battlegrounds, the tanks have some of their abilities clipped, right? They're not allowed to be tanks, and I don't like this way of balancing. They should have reduced hit points or something else. I'll get into it later. But with capture the flag in Overwatch, when you speed boost as Lucio or blink as Tracer, you drop the flag. I don't like this. Lucio can speed boost with a flag. Why would he drop it? That makes no sense whatsoever. Lucio can run fast. Why can't he hold on to the flag too? All right, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's lazy. It's lazy balancing. Okay, no gold guns for competitive. And and if you're going to say that, well, he can just run down the field so quick and then the game's over, then you need to make heroes that can stop him from running. You don't. Ugh, it's disgust. I'm disgusted. So anyway, no go guns, etc. for competitive. Coins to buy skins. Can buy gold guns with coins. Coin rate for gameplay versus competitive equal. More for comp is fine. I don't care. I don't know if you're playing 2.5 cents per game. How often do you get skins? Who cares? I don't care about skins. I don't care about gold guns. Um, I think there should just be one single currency, and you can buy skins with it. You can buy gold guns or whatever. Whatever. I don't care about skins. Auction house for skins. You can also buy skins individually from Blizz. I heard there was this thing where the community creates skins, and then like you can buy the skins, and like the artist gets a cut. Sounds pretty cool. Uh, but you should also be able to sell your skins over an auction house. I don't care about this stuff, but I'm just talking about it anyway. PvP free to play in Overwatch 2. Let's assume 2.5 cents per game, like old arcade games. How money is made in free to play is the only good topic. Smurfing. So PvP free to play in Overwatch 2, but maybe 2.5 cents. How is money made in I well obviously I would want free to play, right? But how are we making money? Free to play and talking about don't worry about Smurfs and free to play. I'm solving this a different way. So Blacklist Maps, a tough and interesting conversation with OWL. I think that's a repeat. Like you should be able to blacklist maps, but the OWL players have to play every single map. 1% of revenue goes to OWL's champion, 1% to CEO. Yeah, here, SVB says Dota 2 revenue model, OWL model is fair, half of digital swag. So I guess you buy skins in Dota 2, and half the money goes to the championship prize pool or something. Sounds pretty cool. But maybe endorsements can save for quick play. In arcade, I like my yeah, like I don't like endorsements. I like the likes, the views, and the dislikes idea better. But you only need one number in comp, and that's rank. I don't like chores after a game. Friend, notepad, pop up. I don't want an endorsement screen after. You can only endorse after the game. Like you can't play 5 games and then go back and endorse all those people because it's made to endorse after the game. Whereas my idea is if I play a game with you, I have the option to thumbs up or thumbs down you, and I can do it right now or I can do it a month from now. It doesn't really matter. So I don't like the chores after the game. You know, the up cards and then where does it end? You got to click 5 times just to get into the game, and then you got to click 3 times to get out. No, I want one button. I want it, and it's called competitive, right on the title screen. So never any hero pools, although map pools are fine because 10 years from now there'll be 50 maps. So when Overwatch is complete with heroes and maps, 10 years from now and there's 50 maps, I wouldn't mind hero maps to be rotated, but never hero pools. If there's 70 heroes, they're always all available. I wonder who makes these decisions sometimes. Like, who is the guy who's saying this is the correct way to do Overwatch? Because I disagree with a lot of it. I don't. But he's got more to think about than just me, right? I only have to think about myself and what I want. But anyway, maybe unlimited avoids messes with people below. 2350 SR. Everyone start at 0 SR, please. So we want unlimited avoids. We're going to start everyone at the bottom of the ladder. But so unlimited avoids don't work in the current system, but they will in mine. Coca-Cola billboards on Route 66. Just think when you start on the first point and you're attacking on Route 66 and you turn that first corner and there's a big Coca-Cola billboard up there. I think that would be so cool, But people are just so I don't know the right word, but how can you be against that? It's helping fund Overwatch, right? We want. I don't get it. I don't get it. Talk about Yahoo Games. I already did. Commercials. Think about this. Commercials before match too. I already said it. Before each match, there's a 15-second commercial. Why not? Who cares? It's funding the game. These people need to feed their families. I think this is a good way to do it. Desktop shortcut for competitive ladder. No hero limits. Right. Like on my desk. So we're going to have a no hero limits competitive. This is how Overwatch League is being played also. I want a shortcut on my desktop that queues me up right then and there for competitive, no hero limits. It would be sweet. Okay. 2.5 cents per game and commercials and billboards. I am fine with Blizz making money. Can view top 500 lists, winning competitive, very lazy, very cheap. So if you're in competitive queue right now, you can't view the top 500 tier lists. That's kind of weird. The quality of life, the menus are pretty good, right? They're pretty intuitive, they work pretty well, but they could do so much more, so much more. And it probably costs a lot of money to code all that stuff up, but we're not talking about budget in this thing. So I guess it's okay if map pool is only 4 per week, ladder 8 per week. Like I said, map pool is fine, hero pools no. You could have two pools. Alright, you could have two queues for total mayhem, etc. Non-SR and with SR. Really no rank. I think I talked about the no rank is where we want no SR, non-SR with SR, quick play comp, and no ladder. Competitive ladder and no ladder, all 4v4, etc., 15v15, etc. I think the correct answer for no SR games is that just at the bottom of the ladder, no rank. And if after a win you want to enter the ladder, you have to pay 25 cents, Actually, I think you would enter the ladder for free, and you just have to pay 2.5 cents to play that match, or if you didn't want to, you could just stay at no rank. So I would be fine with, let's say competitive, we have two types. We have one with no rank, where it's just 12 random people, and we have one with rank, where it has a ladder. Um, the Since you're allowed to not advance in the ladder after a win, you can just stay at the bottom. And this is essentially quick play. We can still have quick play where you only play half the game. That's fine. But half the map, only attack or only defense. That's fine. But instead of having no mode with no SR, the bottom of the ladder acts as if there is no SR. So I'm surprised they didn't do this from the get-go, but I guess it makes more sense in World of Warcraft. Overwatch should have an official iPhone Android app, so it's easy to load up any 2.5 cents per game. I guess BNet already has my credit card information though. Like, is there an Overwatch app? You don't really need one. There's probably a Overwatch League app, but I don't know why you would need an Overwatch application for iPhone or Android, but you should make one anyway because we have unlimited money. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. It would be good if you had Overbuff on inside of Overwatch. Like, it would be good to like look at the statistics of all the ladder participants on your phone, right? That would be one case use to for if you had like I want to look at Overbuff on my phone, right? But it's in the client anyway now. All right, so I'll skip ahead to ladder matchmaker and LFT, then come back up here to talk about the other things that I'd like to change in Overwatch. End of. So those were kind of things that are fundamentally change the way Overwatch works. The ones in the bottom of this list are more like kind of flavor changes. So we'll skip ahead to the ladder. I'll just kind of scroll down. Sell this. Okay. Skip. So at the end of the ladder matchmaker LFT, we'll come back up and finish this chapter.